Welcome back to Designing Your Goodbyes. Let's jump straight into it. I never thought my birthday would become the worst day of my life. Last year, on the day I turned 48, I lost my husband to an aggressive cancer that came and took him from me in less than a year. We had so many plans, so many dreams, and now every time I think about celebrating my birthday, all I can see is the moment he slipped away. I don't want to hate my own birthday, but right now I can't see it any other way. How do I hold the tension of celebrating my life while grieving the end of his on the same date? How do I not let that day define me forever? Thank you so much for writing in and for sharing your experience. Number one, special days are hard when it comes to grief, loss, and change. It's one thing to lose someone or have your world modified on a random day, but holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, as a hospice chaplain, I've seen people pass on loved ones' birthdays. I've also seen people pass on their birthday, which is kind of interesting within itself. I've seen people pass on Christmas and Mother's Day and Easter and holidays. So I know it's hard. I know it's hard when these holidays come around because they're supposed to be inside of a lot of people's minds these days of joy and laughter and just fun and jovialness. But when we experience loss on these days, it definitely shifts our emotional balance. I write this inside of Designing Your Goodbyes, and I encourage people to not be afraid to allow joy to return. A lot of us believe that if we start smiling or laughing or celebrating, or for lack of better words, having a good time too soon, that we're pushing aside the loss, that we're pushing aside the memory, that we're pushing aside the person or the environment or the time that we feel as though we should be mourning. And that's not the case. What grief does for many of us is it gives us an opportunity to acknowledge it in a different way, to carry. One of the things that I say inside of Designing Your Goodbyes is that grief and loss, hope and joy can coexist with one another. And after you've lost, it's really a matter of finding what that balance looks like. There are a couple of things that you say that I just kind of want to point out. You said, I never thought my birthday would become the worst day of your life. You are so valid in feeling that way. A day that is supposed to be celebratory now feels different because it's connected to a major loss that you've had. It can feel as though your birthday will be the worst day of your life for the rest of your life. My greatest encouragement, I would challenge you to reframe that moment. Well, let me ask you, was that moment, or was there something inside of that moment that was precious? And while the transition happened on your birthday, was there something about that moment that makes it honorable? That's where I'm going. That's where I'm trying to go. Because after you experienced the loss, most definitely, you're angry, you're sad, you don't feel like celebrating your life because you just lost your husband. But was there something inside of that transition that was beautiful? And can you incorporate that beauty into your birthdays moving forward? One of the things that I say inside of Designing Your Goodbyes is to acknowledge the power of rituals. And maybe these are just a couple of things that I could suggest. Maybe for your birthday moving forward, put an extra candle on the cake. and light it in honor of your husband. If you are getting balloons for your birthday, get one extra balloon and maybe release it to your husband on your birthday as a way to honor his life in transition on that day. You said that, how do I hold the tension of celebrating my life while grieving the end of his on the same day? You are going to feel tension, and that tension is 100% valid. That tension is hard. That tension is difficult. But I can assure you that you won't break from the tension. It might feel like it, but with the right help, with the right support, with just honestly just writing in and even sharing your story today with all of us, you're helping yourself to really balance that tension because you are going to feel it. Let's just be honest. You are going to feel it every single birthday. You're going to feel joyous when you first wake up and then probably crash by the end of the day. Or you might wake up and feel like not want to bother with anybody or deal with anybody. But then by the end of the day, you're toasting to another year of life for yourself. It is going to be a tension. It is going to be something that you're going to have to balance for the years to come. However, you can do it in a way that still honors the life of your husband. I've had many patients. I've had a lot of people who have passed on special days, and it's hard. It's hard, especially like birthdays and anniversaries and Christmas and Thanksgiving. It is hard for people to redefine their emotions and to accept their emotions surrounding that day. Seasons also have people respond in different ways. And I think my biggest word of advice would be to embrace the season as exactly that, a season. They come and they go. Guess what? Birthdays come and they go. Christmas comes and goes. Mother's Day comes and goes. Anniversaries, they come and go. If you can each year do something in a way that honors, watch this, that honors your life and also honors their life, I truly do believe that you can make your birthday a more blessed and special day than the worst day, like you said inside of your note, than the worst day uh, of your life. It probably will take time. It probably will take a lot of intentional effort in order for you to do that. But with the right tools, I believe that it is possible for you to utilize your birthday as a day of celebration, but also as a day of honor and remembrance for your husband. Um, Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us. I'm sure that there is someone who is watching or listening now who has experienced the same thing that you've experienced and really trying to manage that tension within themselves. So I hope and I pray that your story encourages someone, and I also hope and pray that my advice would just encourage someone who's also kind of balancing that tension. Okay, so again, thank you for sharing. Thank you for allowing me to be with you. Thank you for being open and honest about your emotions inside of this season of your life. And I wish you nothing but the best as you are continuing to design your goodbye and as you're continuing your journey in grief. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you all inside of the next episode, okay?